All right, we just bought another set of Rubicon rails just because we want to get on the trails like ASAP. You know, all the engine maintenance and stuff like that kind of racked up financially, so it's going to be a minute until we can get some actual real rock sliders. So for the time being, we're going to go with some Rubicon rails again. We're going to be cutting these a lot just because we want them to be out of the way of the tires and then the appearance of like the stance and all that. So we're just going to be cutting them like to the fenders, show you guys that in a little bit. Pretty much just cutting everything we can just so it'll protect the areas needed. These are going to be temporary, but see, we got them loaded up back here, and that's the cool part of having a JKU is you can do stuff like this, you know, throw the seats down, throw these bad boys in here. You can even sleep in the back of these. It's kind of why I like the hardtop too. It's a little bit more secure, like out in the weather and stuff, if you were to go camping out in the mountains or whatever. But yeah, definitely cool. Just picked up these Rubicon rails. Got the hardware right here. Got the body bolts on there. You guys can see. Get these things back to the house and cut them probably tomorrow. Running out of time now. Got to go to work here in a minute. So yeah, just one day at a time. Hopefully we can get out on the trails this weekend or next weekend. Already have one of them mocked up over there. You guys can see it's mounted, or not really mounted, but just mocked up. All the hardware sitting out right now for the little ones, the little body pinch seams, bolts, or nuts rather. But so this is a stock Rubicon rail. I'm pretty sure all the Rubicon rails are the same. And speaking year wise, you know, for a JK. So 07 to 18 JK, I'm assuming are all compatible. So that's just from our experience, because we've had plenty of sets of these. We've trimmed them a lot. As you can see, these are like brand new, no rust, have not been trimmed yet. This will be going on the driver's side. So yeah, that would make sense that the longer portion would be for the rear. Basically, we're going to be cutting off a ton of material here. and we're also going to be cutting it at an angle, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging than we usually do it, because normally we will cut it like straight up and down, but it's like really thick under here because there's a lot of extra metal. So I mean, these are going to get the job done for a little bit, just because we want to get out on the trails as soon as possible. We don't really want to keep prolonging, you know, being out on the trails just because we don't have rock sliders. So what we're going to do, we're going to mock them up, and then we're going to mark them where we want to cut, and we're going to cut back a lot, and then obviously transfer this little plastic cap after the fact, because it'll be easier to take this plastic cap off once we've already cut it, rather than trying to take it off right now, because we'll be able to get to the inside of it. And we'll have to like smooth it all out, get it to where we want it to sit, and then mock up the cap so it'll look factory, and then paint the inside of it so it does not rust. So either that or grease it. Probably gonna do some paint. But so there's the front. It's pretty obvious that we are going to be rubbing when we turn, just because of how far the wheels stick out. The tires, the diameter of the tire has a lot to do with it too. So when we're flexing and we have the wheel turned, it's going to want to contact right here. So usually I think we normally would cut like 2 inches off or something, kind of like at an angle a little bit to help with the contour. But this time around, we're actually going to be cutting along with the fender, so it's going to follow like with the body line. So it's not really going to look unproportionate, I guess you could call it. It's going to be following the body line, so it's not really going to look out of place. So it's just going to be enough guardrail protection, so it's going to be chopped right there. So we're going to have coverage all the way to right there in the areas that it's going to matter. Probably going to hit a lot of banging right here. It's a common area, but you guys can see just with this mocked up how bad this looks. The tire is touching, as you can see, so obviously we couldn't even drive with this if we wanted to. And you can see also where the pinch seam was cut, so the pinch seam would have came out a little bit further stock. So cutting the pinch seam, you know, for these 40-inch tires is very critical. So getting all that squared away. Normally we would have cut it to like right here. That's what you'd really want to do if you're trying to go for 37s or 40s or whatever. But yeah, like I said earlier, we're gonna try something new, something I've never seen before. I'm gonna go ahead and slice it right there at an angle. So when you're looking at it from this angle, you're not gonna see, trying to get the light to focus. Anyways, you're not really gonna see it poking out right there. That's one of the things that I hated about the Rubicon rails, is that when you looked at it from this angle, the Rubicon rail looked like it stuck out and like it was about to hit the tire, even though it wasn't. So I'm gonna try to trim that back, see if that helps things out. But other than that, Rubicon rails are awesome. Love them. I mean, they fill out that pinch seam really nice, and they offer protection, obviously. So I mean, for 80 to 120 bucks, 150 bucks, whatever you can find them for, definitely worth it. I mean, it's better than no protection at all, and it's factory too, so it's not like, you know, nothing too crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and mock these up and then start cutting. All right, definitely not the most professional way to, you know, make a mark, but what I chose to do is there's a line here on the fender panel. You can see like where it starts to slope in. I have it like right on the edge of that, and it's perfectly symmetrical all the way down. So it's not laying on it right here, so it's spaced out so it's even, so it doesn't change the contour of the line, you know, once it goes lower. So following that straight down, mark that right there, and that's just gonna get cut straight back behind there, and then straight back underneath. So that's how that's gonna work. That's gonna work well for us. So that's all we really need to do. You can tell we kind of free-handed a little bit up here. We're kind of like an idea of where we want to continue the cut right here. As you can see, this was kind of an idea, but we did not want to go with this length right here, because if you look at it, if you're gonna be looking at the Jeep from this angle, if we cut it right here, it's gonna look like it's gonna stick past this fender angle right here. So we'd wanna kinda keep it symmetrical at all angles. see, this is the scrap that came off 4 angled pieces. Got the plastic caps out, and we are at 10 pounds. So we're shedding 10 pounds by cutting off all this excess. You guys can see, got all the plastic caps out. Just grinded down the little clips on the end and then punched them out with a flathead. About to start sanding them down with a flat disc though, so we can get them all smoothed up. Start mocking up the caps there on the end. So just a little reference for you guys here. So the caps are gonna go, so the caps are going to pop in something like that, if I can get it to stay. Should look pretty good. Just got to pop it in, see what needs to be shaved down with the flap disc, and do that a few times. We'll be good to go to install. Probably gonna touch up the ends there, some VHT though, keep it from rusting, you know. Check it out, guys. Got these all mounted up. Got all 3 body bolts in on each side, and then let's see, I think it is 6 of the smaller 10mm nuts on each side. So we got all those snugged up nice and tight. You guys can see what I was talking about here. The fender line contour follows with the Rubicon rail. The silver that you're seeing right here is silver Sharpie, so I gotta acetone that or whatever, get that off. The cap did not fit 100% on the top. There's a little space, but that's fine. I'm sure dirt and water will get in there. I'll just have to rinse it out every now and then, but that's fine. You see how much material that we removed. It's pretty much just cut straight to that little 10mm nut on each side. So follows the fender line. So when you look at it directly from the side, you guys can see how nicely that flows. So it goes like that and up. So that will work awesome for us, definitely, out on the trail. Not the best solution, you know. Best solution would be to get like poison spotted rocker knockers or something of that nature. But these are definitely gonna get us by, and they don't look too bad. So yeah, especially when you look at it from the side, it doesn't look like it's poking out, like it's gonna hit the tire. That was one thing that did bother me in the past, so that's cool. Get that all situated.